All right, we are live. So, no guests in yet, but I'll take plenty of questions. I will let you know I'm slightly under the weather, but all the more reason for the digital version of the show. So, I did do some whiskey shooting today for the Scotch Test Dummies channel. Waterford is an Irish whiskey. Look for big things from this company in the future. I'm just telling you, if you're a whiskey person at all, take a peek. If you're not a whiskey person, maybe you're even a a knitting person. Boom! My sister made this hat, a Scottish tam. She details it on her show. Hashtag rehash fiber. Hello, and then she had me come on the show. A beret, yes, also known as it's a little bit bigger than the beret. You can see a Scottish tam. My sister made this for me, Subcommandante, and then had me come on her show, Rehash Fiber, the YouTube show, and I walked her fans through a whiskey tasting. That is a very long, meandering show, but that was by design. So if anybody ever wants to try that, go over to, and if you like knitting, hello, you can go to Rehash Fiber and check that out. So real quick, we've got Viper Dave is in. Howdy, y'all. Howdy. Ron is in. We're going to talk about Ambush a little bit later, Ron. Ron is become a developer. He has been helping me develop my old missions, the Follow Me missions, so that they can be released via an email for a print and play option, which will free me up to finish the design. Even Ron has not seen this. So I went in and pulled out my working design. Right before my son was born, I was working on what's called Follow Me Mission 4, Bloody Ground. And quite the mission. I probably have another 15 hours of design work on this at least. And this is just a mission. The rules are all set by Ambush the game. But it was a great follow-up, and I need to go back and finish it. That won't go back in there because I got a bunch of counters and stuff in there as well. But that will happen. What is this whiskey channel? Let's look at that. So Scotch Test Dummies is my whiskey channel. Actually, Waterford flew us out to Ireland, my co-host and I, in 2019, and we toured their distillery, met with a farmer, did all kinds of good things. This is their pilgrimage bottling, their cuvée. Mark Rainier used to own, well, not own, he was the managing part owner of Bruichladdich in Islay, Scotland. And we got to interview him. We did that on the channel. And then anybody that was involved early on with Waterford got one of these bottles. I just popped it open on a show we did on Scotch Test Dummies. And someone mentioned, you can't buy this bottle. But apparently, I don't do this. It's illegal for me to do this, and I'm a cop. You can sell these if you don't open them on the secondary market. I don't do that because that would be illegal, and I'm a cop. I'm a sergeant. So we sample bottles that we get. Apparently, that's a $1,400 bottle. So somebody was like 12 or 1,400. They're like, can't believe you popped that. Yeah, we test stuff on Scotch Test Dummies. We're not, well, we're also collectors a little bit, but so that's what just happened on Scotch Test Dummies. Let me look at what's going on here. David K. regarding movie reviews. I'll get into that as well. I just rewatched Flags of Our Fathers. Great, great movie. Way to go, Clint Eastwood. I still love that movie. What a fantastic film. Highly recommend. Now I'm rewatching Letters from Iwo Jima. Yes, from the Japanese standpoint. Awesome. Dipsy Doo is in. While you're speaking of that, David K., let's go ahead and bring that up. So a lot of people kept referencing that Judd and I should do movie review. And we decided, you know what? I kept hearing it. I heard it again and again. And one thing I like to do is actually pay attention. So we've decided we're going to see how it works. May not work. We don't continue it. But part of my goal, the whole bonding with board games, It is war games included, but I want to go deeper than that as well. And let me stay on task here, but I wanted to get Kabuki Kid in there. So part of our deal was I told Judd, let's do movie reviews. We'll do them in a board game or war game review style is my idea. I told him I don't want to dictate the format to you, but let me just give a structure and we'll work back and forth on it. The other thing is Judd is very engineering style with his money. So I said, you know what, Judd? The show makes, I think, what did I make last month? $45, I believe was what I got in Google Ads. Said, let me take 20 of that and you go buy the movie we're going to review, which is Midway. And I said, we'll do a style. I'm hoping it'll be about 10 minutes. The idea is that if someone watches or likes historical, especially military-esque movies, I believe they're this close. They're that close to wanting to play games on it. Same deal if they read historical fiction or even biographies or historical battles. They're that close. A lot of them just don't know there's board games that take you into the game. Make the game, make history your playground. So we're going to review in a war game style format. How does the theme fit with the movie? How does what is the accuracy? You know, it's kind of like when you play a war game, is it more game or is it more historical simulation? So I want to take that context, do a movie review, hopefully draw in some fans of historical movies, military movies, to historical games. So that's the idea. Let's see what's on here. Hey, Kabuki, see you in. Let's see, Subcommandante. Oh, that's a talk to him. I thought Letters of Iwo Jima was even better than Flags of Our Fathers. I'll agree as well. I thought the same thing. Boom, crosstalk, which is great. Keep that going. The betrayal, what happened to Ira Hayes and the others after they were brought home. So sad. Yeah, it was sad. Showed how rough, I think, all that combat stuff was. Midway, will you review both the old 1970s version in surround sound as well as the newer version? We're going to start with the newer version. I would love to then come back later if it is enjoyed. So I don't want to push the show on, folks. I'm kind of letting the show evolve, if you want to know. By the way, I will be tasting this Waterford in a little bit. I could sip on that. That's like a half ounce for an hour. I'm not a heavy drinker, but I like to taste things slowly. But you can drink your whiskey any way you want. So I would love to then come back later and do the 70s version as well. But there's so many out there that if it is enjoyed, I think it could be fun. And I told Judd if people like it, and I keep making at least $45 a month in AdSense, I'll keep paying for him to have movies in his collection. And he was like, what? Yes. So I buy them anyway. Apparently he like goes to the library and rents them. Just kidding, Judd. I don't know how you watch them. Maybe he goes and watches them in the theater. I thought he'd have a copy of it, but he didn't. And he was like, I'd need to watch it several times to review it. I go, of course. He's like, well, I don't have it. I go, I'll fix that for you. So Vorpal's in. James Brazil is in. What did David have? Good idea. Yep, I agree, David. That is a good idea. So I would love to do it. There's so many great movies. I even had a fan a while back. What was it? I think it was before. Well, no, it was probably when I had the show. He was sending me all these old DVDs of these movies from like the 50s and stuff that were pretty darn cool that I hadn't even heard about. So we'll have to see. Some of those on DVD I could actually loan to Judd, so I wouldn't have to pay him the $20. But we'll see how that goes. So that's the movie review portion. I want my image is that we'll review it as if it were a war game. You know, so is it more game, more simulation? Is it more how did they bring the theme out? And then how does the history, wow, I said that weird, history. How does the history play out? You know, where do they have to fudge it to entertain? Midway is so good, this new one, because I'll give you a little tidbit. I think they did a good job, but they bit off a little more than they can chew. I would have loved to have seen them do this as a 3-movie type release, but this is me getting crazy. A lot of people don't like World War II history. I think everybody does, and they don't. But if they could have done this kind of like how Marvel broke out all their stuff, where you get to see an in-depth on Pearl Harbor, then you get to see an in-depth on Doolittle's raid of Tokyo, and then you get to see the Coral Sea, and then you can see where I'm going, Midway. Movies can't really do that, and I know that. And what they did with Marvel was fantastic. I think it's the only way. I think Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus, that is my preferred way of viewing things. I like to see the miniseries, Breaking Bad. The way you can tell a story that way is so much better. That kind of thing. So let's see what else has popped in while I wasn't paying attention. Kabuki Kid, John Basilone is from my hometown. Wow, am I saying his name right? I always say that last name wrong. And I've watched Pacific, where he's featured there. First Medal of Honor winner. Yeah, he held off. Speaking of that, Combat Commander Pacific. Oh my God. Way to go with the game version of World War II in the Pacific Theater. Really enjoyed that. My review's up on that now. He was sent home on the bond drives and eventually insisted, because they had him training on going back, and he was killed on day 1 of Iwo Jima. Let's see. I drive over a bridge named after him every day. Very cool. Kabuki. Let's see. The new Midway sucked. Okay. We'll see. You'll have to see what we say in the review. I would say it's my hope is not to break them down in the overall. It'll be more like how did they hit on some of the topics I've already explained. Thanks, James, on the CC Pacific. It's hard to review the CC games. And you guys tell me if you think this is interesting. So I got not all. I'm still missing one of the battle packs, the little expansions. I think it's the Resistance one, if I remember right. But the darn things come in this oversized, like Trapper Keeper folder, and it won't fit in the box. And there's plenty of room in the CCE boxes, or the CCM, or the CCP. And it was bugging me. And I still had them in their Ziploc, but I was like, man, they're all over the place. So I was like, I got nuts. And I don't mind cutting something. So I cut the folders down, and I tried 2 different versions. And I like just cutting it in half, trimming it down, putting the things in the little keeper, and then putting them inside the box that they fit best in. I thought I might do a video of that, but maybe that's stupid, because it's not a video on playing them. It is a video on how to fit them into the box. And some people will be like aghast. You cut them? Yeah, I cut them. I cut the heck out of them. I want them inside the boxes. I like my stuff contained and not sleeved. I know some people like sleeving. Judd likes to sleeve. But maybe I'll do a review of that. Let's see. He sure was a huge local hero and a huge American hero. Yeah, big time. Iwo Jima was brutal too. Yeah, they did not want to let him back because of that hero status. And I thought they did a good job of showing that in the movie. Okay, so we've covered the movie reviews. At least we're going to do it with Midway. You guys let us know when that comes out. I listen to everything you guys say, especially the fans that are in here all the time, because if you're like, you know what? Stupid. All right. Now, 1 or 2 stupids, I can let that roll off the back. But if a majority of you come in and go, the movie thing sucked, it sucked. I did tell Judd that if we do it, it's got to be 10 minutes. Because what I want to do is capture non-gamers that love the movie or maybe like war movies, and then let them know, oh my God, there's this whole board gaming thing you can play in the history. Yes. Can't just read about it. Can't just watch, or you can just read about it. You can just watch it, but you can also play it. So that's my hope there, is that maybe we'll pull in some new folks to the hobby. It's kind of what I'm always trying to do, to be honest with you. So we'll try that. Chief, don't pay attention to the critics. I happen to enjoy learning how people do hacks. Okay. You know what? I listen to critics. Doesn't mean I do exactly what they say, though. I do like to listen. I used to do stand-up comedy years ago, like 20 years ago. And you want to talk about getting immediate feedback. Whoo, I crash and burn sometimes. That is really hard when you're up there and you crash and burn. And it's such a great way, though. I give professional, or anybody that even tries stand-up, a lot of credit, because you're on total display. And when you say something that isn't funny, because people just stare at you. And you can't even see everybody. You can only see like the first two people because of the lights. It's really interesting. So let's see. Good Kid, The Pacific was excellent. Band of Brothers 2, of course, loved both of those. I would love to review those as well. The Pacific and Band of Brothers, you almost got to review them episode by episode, different directors, how they pulled them off. I thought Band of Brothers source material was better. Whereas the Pacific used more of the enlisted version, and island hopping itself meant you couldn't really follow the same people quite as well. I would love to do those. Yes, Subcommandante 73, Judd, 10 minutes, laugh out loud. I know, but Judd said we need to have a structure. And I said, Judd, you read my mind, brother. We need to have a structure. Keeping it at 10 will be the key, I think. I don't know. I kind of like to let Jed off the leash, though. He just goes, and he has such cool things he says. Vorpal, Chief, if you're going to wear a hat like that, you need to speak with a Scottish or maybe a French accent. Yeah, this is definitely Scottish. This is Scottish tam that my sister made. Go to Rehash Fiber. I think Kabuki's been there. A lot of my whiskey fans went over there, and there's a lot of revelry and a lot of slagging, which is giving each other a hard time. And she said that was so different from her channel, which is all like friendly and nice. And I said, my guys are nice. They just hang trash on me, and I hang it back on the Scotch show. Nathaniel, certain episode of Band of Brothers went more into detail on tactics than others. Yes. Yeah, they did. And, I'd love to cover that. Band of Brothers, I will tell you guys right now, is my favorite. Now, Tom Hanks has been working on one with the Mighty Eighth. I don't know if they even got a name for it. I guess it was so expensive, HBO didn't want to pick it up, but it's following the B-17s. Gosh, you guys know I would love that. One thing I love about The Mandalorian is them using what they call the volume, which is the LED screens. That will be the newest thing, is the newest thing. It's not proprietary. All different kinds of studios are using it, and it's making it so much cheaper for them to film. And I don't know, maybe Band of Brothers already filmed. I don't know all the insides on that, or not Band of Brothers, the Mighty Eighth, or whatever they want to call it. But if they could do that, we're going to see some beautiful things. If you haven't seen the behind the scenes stuff on The Mandalorian, go check that out. The volume and their music guy, their soundtrack guy, genius. What an utter genius that guy is. Let's check that out. Let's see. I would love to see how you organize, says Stump 182 CC. I'm having some challenges with them also. Yeah, okay. I cut them. I cut the heck out of them. And I got tired of them. I couldn't find one of them for a while. I was like, where in the heck did I put it? Maybe I didn't get it. And then I found it on the shelf on top of some games. I was like, I'm done with this. And I took my cutter and I just went to town. So maybe I'll do a little thing on that. It'll probably get more views than my review. That's how it goes. I'll do something. I'll be like, one of my biggest ones is my unboxing of the Great War from PSC. That thing it was my very first video, and it's still huge. It gets like more views than some of my new videos get. I'm like, what is going on with that? I think they shared it on their own channel or something. Subcommandante, is that made from a pelt of Highland O'Shanter. She actually got this, the kit, not the kit, but she got these directions on how to make it. And they said, get these wool from the Andes. So she got it from there. She bought the exact kind they told her to get. I'm not into all the fibers and stuff, but she does all kinds of unique fibers. So she used to be a flight attendant, so she can travel. And before COVID, she was going to travel, and she'd done some of them and travel all over the place. How about you combine a movie with the associated game? Well, my idea, Vorpal, was that we would pull on some games and say, you know what? If you like the Doolittle rate of this, here is a great version of that. Maybe we just digitally show the box cover. That's exactly what I was thinking, Vorpal. Vorpal, you're a genius if I didn't say that. Let's see, like Memphis Belle and B-17 Queen of the Skies. Yeah, that same kind of deal. My idea was to definitely tie it to games and also review the movie as if it was a game as well. We'll see how it works. And can we do it in 10 minutes? I like the challenge of it. Let's see. Stump have also, oh, you know what? I should be putting these up here. I'm an idiot. Have also put the counters into GMT bins. So they might be my main problem. That would be. The expansions, there's only Stalingrad had some counters. I think they're the only ones that had counters. I can't remember. So that was pretty easy to break down. And I haven't played Stalingrad yet. So I was able to just leave them in there in their folder. But once I play it, I'll just use a different Ziploc bag and probably Sharpie on it saying Stalingrad counters or something. Let's see. Kabuki says, yeah, the LED screen's amazing tech. That's the volume from Mandalorian. How it renders everything live right on the set form. Yeah. And then the actors are playing as if they're in the area. I'm telling you, I think the volume or those LED deals will be, I could see them combining that with a first-person shooter or something, and you would have people going out to what would be the equivalent of like arcades again, because you would be feeling like you're literally moving through a Call of Duty or whatever. I think the volume is going to do that, but it'll be expensive early on, and that'll be the only way to do it. But I can imagine taking a team in. I don't know. Do you run in place? That doesn't seem to work too well, but how do they reference that, especially as a team? I don't know. Has anyone seen any good movies featuring the B-24 Liberator? It seems like everybody loves the B-17. I have not, but by all means, put your stuff in there if you know something with the 24. What is Nathaniel's deal? You'll want to keep to in-stock games if your goal is to bring in movie buffs. Don't force them to deep dive into eBay. You know what? My idea, I don't disagree with you, but my idea would be there'd be so many games, and some of these come in and out of print so often. You're right. I've been pointing, people ask me about B-17 Queen of the Skies. I love it. Bongo Gorilla actually picked up and sent me Target for today. I wasn't going to buy it. And I'm going to do it. I filmed an unboxing. I haven't edited it yet. And he said I could credit him for that. When people say, should I go get Queen of the Skies from Avalon Hill? No, it costs too much. You can go get more game if you get Target for today. And so that's where I point people. But we're in a great time of gaming. Everything's getting reprinted. It's awesome. Let's see what else. Any Star Trek reference is appreciated always. Yeah, the holodeck. Love the holodeck, and I think that's how it's going to be. Set phasers to deep fry. Got to highlight that one, brother. Let's see. I've got B-17. I've been doing session playthroughs. These are from Blood Red Skies. They're 1/200th scale. And I had a buddy paint them, and I've just been putting the decals on them. And I'm getting ready to fly mission 10. Here's an ME-110, much bigger plane. And I wanted to have these come in, and I've got some 109s over there too. So those will be happening. Getting ready to fly mission 10. I don't know when I'm going to get that done. Yeah, it came out really good. I got to tell you, though, I also picked up 21st Century Toys, had a 1/144th. And I want to use this when there is an Ace FW 190. I'm going to have that come on there. I stripped it off its stand, put it on the same stand from Blood Red Skies. So if it's coming in from 12 o'clock high, you can tip it, or high. Coming in level, boom. Coming in from below, it's screaming up at you. Love these stands. So those are cool. And here's one of the ME 109s, or the BF 109s. So yeah, my cop buddy of mine loves painting. And again, so this should look great when I'm playing. We'll see. Gosh, man, I was playing this last mission 9, and I actually forgot a portion of the sorties coming in at me. It was embarrassing. But when you're filming and playing, sometimes things get away. So what about an ME 109 Ace? You know what? I've got one of those. It's not over here anymore. I actually picked up, seeing if it was, oh yeah, it is. Hold on. He's going to come off the stand. Yep. So I picked up the game Wings of War, and a guy had one of these on. Now it's got a broken tailplane, but I was like $10. These are going for crazy money, or I would have bought a bunch, because this is 1/200 scale. And I thought, you know what? That'll be one of my ME 109 Aces that comes in. And I would have bought more of these, but Wings of War, the Eagles of the Reich, is out of print. And whenever I move this, it always comes off the base. So, but let me set it down without breaking it. So that's going to be really, really fun. And I'll keep putting those up there. By the way, if you guys want to be on the plane or have a chance, just come back on Patreon. $2 is the lowest level. It costs nothing, $2 a month. You can set your level, and boom, as I lose crew, you can end up entering onto the plane. So go to Patreon, look up Bonding with Board Games. There's my plug. Glowing Turtle, love your name. Good day. And I like your avatar with that. That is cool. Let's see. Nano Rider, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm really having a fun. B-17 Queen of Skies, first game I ever bought. Thank goodness. I love it. I believe it even gives a good, it's all game. But when you lose a crew, I feel it. I literally feel it, which means it is not a raw war game. It's more like war is hell, and you don't want to do it unless you have to. And I learned that at age 13. Trust me, this nerd it would be a beautiful mountain day in Colorado, and my parents would be like, hey, they came down to my room. You've been in your room for like 5 hours. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm on a mission to Bremen. And they were like, what? I'm flying to Bremen, and I'm losing people. And my dad was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm playing a game. History game? Like, yeah. He's like, huh. And he kind of shook his head. He was a college basketball guy. And although I played some basketball in high school, I was never that good, and I hated practice. I would have much rather been playing ambush or B-17. So he always Dad liked me, but he shook his head sometimes like, this kid's weird. This is a weird kid. He wears berets and goes on TV. Yeah, I'm weird, Dad. Dad's passed now, so maybe he's laughing. Those stands, that angle would be awesome for the Stuka dive bomber. It could be in mid-dive, totally. I think it's going to work great for B-17 because you got, they're coming in low, they're coming in level, they're coming in high. It was perfect. You guys here and gals are the ones that referenced Blood Red Skies. I had no idea the miniature game was out there. So, and it looks like it's going to be awesome. I just got the last of the decals on. I hate doing models. So, but I would listen to a podcast and then do the decals. And Brent Johnson, who's a gamer buddy of mine at work, he did the painting for me because, let's see, the Jericho Siren. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Not so good for morale when the bomber captain says, as I lose crew. Yeah. Let's see. What is this? Vorpal slapping me, slaps Chief upside the head. Stop feeling bad. Those people are paying you to die in a B-17. Yes. Yes. I know. I'm talking probably more about his. No, no, no. I think I still feel bad when they die. So it's amazing how thematic the B-17 story game is. You should check out Target for tonight. It's brutal intercepts. Yeah, it's the Lancasters at night. I saw that. And I got to get Target for today played first. And I know you can do all these different campaigns. I will tell you, part of the bonding with board games idea is, again, bringing people together. And Bongo Gorilla does these awesome after action reports. Sometimes you can see him on YouTube. He does a lot of them on Patreon. But, well, I haven't talked to him yet. He's so good. I'm thinking, and I'm not ready to do this yet, but I would love if we had a group of people, and I don't know if he'd even be willing. I don't have time to do it, but if he set up and once a month, I keep hearing noises outside. My wife's either home for lunch or I'm being burglarized. So if you hear me scream and run off camera with the bottle, someone call 911. I don't know what that noise is. But I would love if we all flew a mission. We all went to the same place, Bremen. And we each recorded our mission individually in our plane name. And then maybe, I don't even know if he's willing to do this. So, but maybe then he kept track of it. And maybe I couldn't do everybody. I don't know. I might have to limit that to Patreon or something, because there's some stuff you want on Patreon just so it encourages people to help support the show. And that's a lot of work. So I don't want to speak for Bongo Gorilla either. It's just an idea I've had. So we'll let that matriculate. We'll let it just sit there for a bit. And I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but it's something I would like to do. So Kabuki saying hi to the turtle. I like turtles. Let's see. Kabuki Kid, David says, I sometimes play the YouTube videos of Stuka siren sounds for kicks. I'm weird that way. Let's see. I feel bad when I lost men in ambush. Oh my God, I felt bad. And you know what else was worse? I'd get a noob. I'd get a newbie. I'd be like, newbie's on point. And and then you'd run into a tough spot. I'd be like, gosh, I need my guy with higher perception on point, but I don't want to lose him. Because you just take a sniper hit. It'd be brutal. And gosh, dang it. And then you watch Band of Brothers and how they treated noobs, and noobs didn't last long. And they didn't want to get to know them because they didn't last long. But a seasoned veteran would usually last longer because they'd picked up a lot of these skills that you can only get in combat. Yeah, ambush could be brutal. It is brutal. Let's see. My buddies would capture MiG-42 in one mission and wanted to carry it over to the next mission. Yeah, but you can't. Let's see. Kabuki Kid, there's actually a Stuka dive bomber hanging from the ceiling in the Science and Industry Museum here in Chicago. That's awesome, David. Kabuki agrees. And Vorpal, ambush has a major problem. Break visual contact and the enemy goes away. Yeah, I'm trying to remember that, though. I played so many games, and I'm going to be playing more, actually. So let's go back to Ron, my developer. Ron has been helping me get these missions back to not back to. He's actually a true developer and editor. He's caught some errors I had as far as even formatting. Wow, I over-enunciated. Formatting. And I'm going to be re-releasing these missions, which I've had a lot of people ask me to do. I used to sell them on eBay. And I'm going to do them as a print and play because I just couldn't keep up with the printing and all this kind of stuff. And I was using Kinko's, and then that got out of whack with price. And we'll see. But if people enjoy it, I'm going to finish mission 4 of Follow Me, Bloody Ground. Before I do all that, though, I've actually got to dive back in. I'm going to replay these. I've forgotten a lot of the stuff I put into them. 13 years ago, I created them. So I'm going to play through it, test it, make sure everything's working right again. And once they're ready, they'll be made available. And then if they work right, I'll get volume 4 or mission 4 out of Follow Me. And then if that goes well, I'm still looking for an artist, a simple artist that can do like ambush style maps. They're not that hard, but it's not a skill set I have, because I'm going to be doing a Western version called Bushwhacked. But I want to create my own maps that can be done on 8.5 by 11s that can be printed and created. So you could go and do it all fancy, or you could just print it out on paper and put it underneath plexi, so that I heard another noise. I'm telling you, I'm going to get attacked. So that people don't have to own Ambush, because with Follow Me, you have to have the first game of Ambush, and it's gotten so expensive, people can't find it anymore. So it's limiting. David, Bart, I know that you were in police force. Yes, I still am. I'm a sergeant on the police department. But did you ever serve in the military? Yes, I was a medic in a light infantry reserve Army unit, the 30 of the 87th. We had a diamond thing, blue and white. They served over in World War II. I can't remember the name of that. Might have been the 96th. I can't remember the parent, but we were the 3rd of the 87th, 3rd Battalion, 87th Infantry, I think, or 3rd Infantry, 87th. Gosh, it's been too long. Used to know all that. So I was in the reserves. I was a medic. I was an E4 specialist. Did all my training, my basic at Fort Leonard Wood, and then went to Fort Sam Houston for medic training. Let's see. Nano Rider. I haven't played Ambush in many years, so it would really be great if you could get a Patreon Ambush crew set up. You know what? I want to do that too. And I will do that. My problem is I was struggling to keep up with my B-17 missions. And I'm definitely going to do that I'm going to do that with Patreon folks that can come in and be the individual folks, but I'm so out of practice with Ambush. I'm going to need to play that some more too. The big thing with Ambush, really the only hard thing, is you're moving from conditions to operations to conditions. I can't remember. There's 2 phases. It really slows down once you make contact, and then you've got to roll for your perception, which sets how many turns, whether you get 1 or 2 turns. And then the way it breaks out on the chart is fabulous. And then you just make tough decisions. So, but I'll get into that, and we'll definitely have a tier, because it can only, well, I don't know. We got to see. I'll play around with that, but definitely something I want to do. Oh, on that note, I'm actually going to slow down my reviews. I will still take in some that there's some companies that send them to me. Great working relationship, but I'm not actively soliciting, except Conflict of Heroes. Anything Conflict of Heroes comes out, actually anything Academy Games, I love what they do. Open bias right there. But GMT's got some good stuff coming too. I'll still want to review, if they'll send it to me, Samurai, part of the CNC Borg series. I was kind of intrigued by their Apocalypse Road. It's their racing game, which I don't usually get into, but I love the apocalypse / Car Wars kind of thing. But who knows? Kabuki Kid, I gave Stuka as a clue in a Codenames game, and the 2 friends on my team had no clue what that was. That's what I do too, Kabuki. People be like, what are you talking about? I'll be like, Screaming Siren. David K. Medic, very cool. I could imagine you in MASH. MASH, maybe not so much. That was more nurses and doctors, but the guys were funny because as a reserve unit, I wanted to be a cop. Our captain of our unit was actually a sergeant with the Denver Police Department. I was based out in Denver, and my platoon sergeant was like a 2.5-year kind of rookie with the police department. So that was awesome. I'm 6'6", currently 245, and I was probably about 225 in my better days. And they were like, Doc, you'll never make it if somebody goes down and we're in combat. You've got so much surface area, you're going to get picked off. I'm like, nah, they'll think I'm like a distraction. They won't shoot at me. And they were like, whatever. But yeah, it was funny. I said, hey, who knows? I can at least pick you little guys up and carry you around. Ambush is lethal. Incapacitated soldiers, simplicity, don't make it off the battlefield. Yeah, I used to try to carry him off, but we'll see. A wounded soldier best chance is to hide and hope the Americans take the field. We'll have to see. I was pretty aggressive, but I lost some guys too. Again, that was another game that made you feel, though. I mean, when you're taking newbie and put them on point because you don't want to lose somebody that you built up over time, so it means you're invested. That's the Cuvée Pilgrimage, their very first bottle from Waterford. That is tasty. I'm telling you guys, if there's anybody and gals, anybody out there that likes whiskey, you can't get the Cuvée, but Waterford in the next 3 to 4 years is going to be putting out some of the best whiskey in the world. That's an inside tip. What they're doing is phenomenal. I call newbies minesweepers, says Vorpal. Yeah, that's true too. Those damn minefields. That's where you want your perception up. All right, let's see. What else is in my title? In order to see it, I got to hit the edit button. Bonding, we've covered that. Whiskey, we've covered that. Movie reviews, we've covered that. So Ron is keeping me on task. Ron, I need to do some of that today, but I've also been doing some planting out in the yard. Excellent skills from Ron. And Ron, I actually bought, he had this great idea. The manila colored file folders look like the same color as the original ambush cards. Now, I've gotten older since I designed these. My eyes don't work as well. Ron said the same thing. You've got a lot of text on some of your soldier cards. So with Ron's help, boom, we've moved them up to like playing card, poker size style cards. So they're going to be a little bigger, not all the art or anything, but bigger so you can read them. And I went and bought these. He printed a bunch out on these file folders that he cut down to 8.5 by 11 and sent pictures how cool they looked. Ron, I did the same thing. I haven't printed them yet, but I went and picked them up, and I'm going to cut them down and do the same thing. Ooh, Nano Riders of Pete Head. Me too. Yeah, if you guys haven't done it, check out Scotch Test Dummies. That's my other show. And we were supposed to film a bunch of shows today, but I wasn't feeling too good, and I didn't have a temp. But on the offhand chance I had the vid, I didn't want to get my co-host sick, so we did 2 remote shows and a live. Then I thought, you know what? Let me go live with the Bonding with Board Game crowd. Let's see. Did you get anything exciting in the mail today from the Fort Circle Intergalactic headquarters? No, I did not. But I haven't checked the mail yet either. But that sounds intriguing. Chief, how has the lockdown improved your gardening skills? Mine have improved a lot. My wife's more the gardener than I, but I have to put in these boxwoods before it gets too cold. And I dug all the holes yesterday, and then I went to go pick them up, and they were sold out. And then there's like a local farm and art market kind of guy that I usually buy my trees from and stuff. So I got to contact him. But then I wasn't feeling good, so I was like, ugh, what do I do? So we'll see. I've got the holes dug. I just got to plant now. I've got my cotton burr. I've got my topsoil. I'm all ready to go. He planted himself on the sofa in April, and he's been growing large ever since. Yes, me too. Me too, Vorpal. I actually got back in the gym recently, and that's been helpful. I need to do that. Let's see. What am I at? 44 minutes. We're going to wrap this soon. I think that's it. The reason I want to cut down my reviews a little bit is reviews actually take me quite a long time. So I'll usually solo play both sides several times, several sessions, get a good feel for it. Um, a lot of times I'll see if my son wants to jump in and play just a little bit. He's way more of a role player. Excuse me. Or my wife doesn't like really, well, she doesn't like playing war games. But for example, the One Small Step, the worker placement moon game I got from Academy Games, that's her theme. She loves that. So she played that with me. And we played several hours of that, 2 different games. That was awesome. That's a fun game. I love worker placement. It's my favorite Euro style mechanic. Let's see. And then I used to have board game or war gamers pop over to the house. But Bubs, who's a retired detective, he's 70. And with my kids and everything, gosh, I don't want to kill any of my friends. So I've been very nervous, and we haven't been having anybody over for gaming. And I miss it because our whole house is designed to host gaming events. I designed that this basement with the table I'm on, this can host gaming. My table, I've got my B17 under a top that comes off. It can host. Big table, small 4-person table that I film my game reviews on, and then even a coffee book table or coffee table that you can sit under and play. And then we'll do big werewolf things at the end. And man, I think I can get 30 people down here, and then I can fit another 15, 20 up top. I turned 50 this year, and what I wanted to do was have like a board game night till midnight or something and play all kinds of games. I want to do a Knizia night. I've got Blue Moon City, Samurai. I haven't taken out of the shrink. I love Knizia. Medici, I just got the Medici card game. So we're wanting to do a lot of that, but you can't do it with COVID. This COVID stuff needs to end. Yeah, 30 people. Yeah, and then you get you just end with a game of werewolf, and it's just fun. It just hanging out with people. So, and my son loves jumping in, and love it. But we haven't been able to do it. So, yep, the whole house. We literally, when I had to finish this basement off, and my wife, working with K-State, does a whole board game thing as well. And so she was all in. She was like, you know what? Design it to handle a lot of people. Yeah, I could easily fit 8 there, 4 there, 6 there, 4 here, and 2 more over there. Well, 4 at that coffee table if need be. And it would be fine. Fine. 30 people. Yep. And that doesn't count what I could fit upstairs. So I could probably push it for even more. I got a coffee table set up there. You can play out the dinner table, and then actually the same color granite even, and that can host 4 people there. So, all right, Vorpal's out. That's a good sign that I probably need to wrap it up. Anybody got any questions before I close out? Again, don't forget, check out Scotch Test Dummies. By the way, my co-host there, he kind of likes board games, but not as much as I do. So, and there's some Scotch people that rip on me for the board games. They call them boring games. So if you guys are on there, you'd be like my secret posse that could back me up. I don't really need that because I don't mind standing alone. But and then if you guys do get a chance, or even if a spouse or a good friend likes knitting, send them over to Rehash Fiber. It's my sister's channel. She's just getting going. She's got about 500 subs, so she's doing okay. All right, I don't see any questions coming in. She made this hat for me. That's why I'm wearing it. I've got my Tron and Star Wars from my Tron Solo shirt kind of going on. Waterford, Irish whiskey. Terroir, Providence is everything. Beautiful design. Everything is nice. We will wrap this up. All right. So feed the niche. I'm trying to make that my catchphrase. Feed the niche. All right. See you guys. Bye.